Eliza. 17 years old, an orphan quite alone. The year was 1925. A thick fog draped the small town. It clung to the skeletal trees. Her destination, Blackwood Manor. A remote, imposing silhouette. It loomed against a bruised grey sky. A chilling welcome surely awaited. Her aunt appeared at the great door, Mrs. Blackwood, or so she claimed to be. Estranged for so many years, her face was a cold, smooth mask. Unreadable, perhaps unfeeling, the greeting was painfully brief, icy, terribly formal. The air inside the mansion felt heavy, stale with unspoken secrets, unwelcoming. The house was undeniably grand, yet it was steeped in decay. Dust motes danced in pale, thin light that barely pierced the gloom. Portraits lined the cavernous hall. Their ancient eyes seemed to watch, following her every hesitant step, judging her presence there, a constant, silent, unnerving scrutiny. She felt a prickle of deep unease. The townsfolk whispered fearful tales of strange, flickering lights at night, of unsettling sounds from the attic. The mansion held dark, old secrets. Everyone knew it. Everyone felt it. People diligently avoided its shadow, especially when dusk began to fall. Their faces were pale with unspoken fears. Fear was a palpable living thing here. This house was not a sanctuary. Eliza began to explore the vast house. So many doors were firmly locked. One especially drew her attention. At the corridor's darkest, furthest end, it seemed to beckon her closer. A cold, unnatural draught emanated, a silent, chilling invitation to horror. She felt an odd, stark compulsion, a pull towards the unknown terror. She had to know what lay beyond. She found old diary pages, cryptic, terrifying, hidden deep within an old book. The library was coated in thick dust, forgotten, neglected, like its contents. The handwriting was frantic, desperate, filled with an overwhelming fear. Shadows were mentioned, dark entities, whispers described in chilling detail, a story desperate to break free. An old key was then discovered, ornate, surprisingly heavy, found beneath a loose, creaking floorboard in her own bleak, shadowed room. The metal felt cold, so very cold, significant, important. She knew it, a key to the unknown, the forbidden, a small piece of a larger puzzle. What terrible secrets would it unlock? She clutched it tightly in her hand. Night brought with it new terrors. Faint whispers seemed to drift from within the very walls themselves. Soft, ghostly footsteps echoed above, in the empty, dark, silent halls. Eliza lay awake, listening, her young heart hammered in her chest. The suffocating silence was somehow alive. She knew then she was not alone. Something else shared this house. Eliza finally asked her aunt about the strange, persistent noises. Mrs. Blackwood dismissed them, sharply, too quickly, far too quickly. Her eyes, however, darted about, nervous, agitated, uneasy. "Old houses creak, child," she snapped. "The wind plays its mournful tricks." But Eliza saw the fear in her gaze, a deep, hidden, knowing fear. The aunt grew stranger still, more erratic, more unpredictable, often lost in some dark thought, distant, unreachable, cold. Her moods shifted like the wind, kind one fleeting moment, then sharp, cruel, bitter, an unsettling urgency in her voice, in her clipped, carefully chosen words. Eliza felt a growing sense of dread. A stern warning soon came, direct, unmistakable, chilling. "Some doors are best left unopened. Eliza, do not unlock the past." Her voice was a low, guttural growl, a clear threat, a command, disguised thinly as motherly concern. It only fueled Eliza's burning resolve. She had to find the truth, no matter the potential cost. The whispers intensified their call, louder now, more insistent, urgent. They seemed to sigh her name. "Eliza, Eliza," echoing faintly. The footsteps above, clearer now, directly overhead in the attic. The attic beckoned her closer, a siren song of shadowed secrets. She could no longer ignore its pull. She had to know what waited there. Eliza used the small, cold key. It fit the old attic door perfectly. The ancient lock turned with effort. A heavy, ominous click resonated. She climbed the narrow, winding stairs. Each step creaked in protest. Her flashlight cut the dense gloom. Her breath hitched in her throat. Fear warred with grim determination. She pressed onward into darkness. A hidden room, at last revealed. Newspaper clippings, yellowed, brittle, covering the damp, stained walls. Missing girls' faces stared back blankly, accusingly, lost, then a shock. Her own drawings, simple sketches from her childhood, pinned to a dusty, rotting corkboard. A terrifying, chilling connection to this awful, silent house of horrors. The woman. She was not her aunt, an imposter, her lies exposed. Confronted, she showed no remorse. Then a faint sound, a weak cry. The real Aunt Eleanor, scarred, frail, but alive, held captive for so long. Chaos erupted in the dusty space. Accusations, screams, pure fear. Police sirens wailed in the distance, approaching fast through the morning mist. Eliza stood outside, finally safe, alone, watching the police car depart, taking the monstrous imposter away. Dawn painted the foggy sky, pale, cold, uncaring. She looked back at Blackwood Manor. A shadow moved, distinctly, behind an upstairs grimy window. The whispers might have faded now, but the darkness, it surely remained.